Exodus
So now I had to record that, put it on record real quick. Once again, welcome everybody to another Sunday edition, another conference call. I am Israel is the family, and today's lesson is fit for marriage from Jezebel to Proverbs 31. Fit for marriage from Jezebel to Proverbs 31. Now, Sister LaShawan was reading Deuteronomy 22 in the 5th chapter. Now, the piece what I wanted to get was bring out was Exodus 28 and 42. You got that, Brother Joshua?
No, I don't. Hold on.
Oh, so who said they had it? I can read it. Exodus 28. I got it. I'll bring it out. The book of Exodus. 28 what? The book of Exodus 40, the 28th chapter and the 42nd verse. I got it. I'll read it. It says, "And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness, from the loins even unto the thigh shall reach." Okay, so this is it. All you got to do now is think of a jockey that is mounted on a horse. That's what he has on. Some may call them knickerbockers. All the pants today are as an extended version. Let's not be simple. Okay, so that proves to you that Deuteronomy says women shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. The breeches is what the men were wearing. You don't have no business putting that on. It says, let them cover their nakedness from the loins. Okay? You don't have no loins. That's why a zipper is on a pair of pants.
Right.
Okay? Ain't no such thing as women pants. I'm going to show you where women pants came into play at right now. And I got to get an app to where though y'all all can see me. Right now we're going to switch over into this app. My next sessions is going to be that. So I can start putting up pictorial slides and things of that nature so y'all can, see what I'm doing so I can show you these things as we go along. But I'm going to show you where the whole ideology of women pants came into play at. There's no such thing as women pants, but let me show you who you following when you say that and when you speak like that, and that is a Jezebel spirit from Edomites, beginning with this woman, Amelia Bloomer, and her co-conspirator, Susan B. Anthony. And Amelia Jinx Bloomer, May 27, born December 30th, 1894. Somebody is speaking in the background. Whoever's speaking, you got to put your phone on mute if you're going to be speaking while I'm giving instruction, I'm teaching. When it reads what she did with the whole suffrage act and things of that nature, her and Susan B. Anthony, they basically did not like the fact that women didn't have the rights that they felt that they needed to have. Now, these women despised the laws of Paul because Paul spoke about things that, he told women to be quiet in the midst of the churches, to be silent. If you had any questions, you ask those questions at home unto your husband. That is still in effect to this day, to this very day. It does not matter if you made decisions in your life that you now are paying for. When it comes down to you maybe being single or you having children and the man is not there, you have to bear that and understand that those were decisions that you made, but obviously before you came into the truth, and the same mindset that you had when you made those decisions, you cannot carry that now over into this way, into the truth. You have to change your thinking, even if you want your situation to change. If you don't change your thinking, your situation is not going to change. Yes, you made the mistake, you repented, and then you become a new creature in Christ and Yahushua, and you're now living supposedly a holy life. So now that you're living a holy life, then it should reflect that in your everyday action. So when it speaks about the Amelia Bloomer, it's me reading reading up on her and giving it to y'all right now. It says it was needed. Well, actually, Bloomer described her experience as the first woman to own, operate, and edit a news vehicle for women. It was a needed instrument to spread abroad the truth of a new gospel to women. Y'all hear that? a new gospel to women. So this is the Jezebel spirit. This is a Jezebel spirit that you sisters don't have no business following. Okay, because the new gospel that she's referencing is a gospel proceeding Paul writing, because they didn't like what Paul wrote. But they Edomites anyway, so it wasn't even written to them. But they went into the slave corridors and got black women, so-called black women that was enslaved, to follow them. It was needed and was a needed instrument to spread abroad the truth of a new gospel to women, and I could not withhold my hand to stay the work I have begun. I saw not the end from the beginning and dreamed whereto my proposition to society would lead me. In her publication, Bloomer promoted a change in dress. Okay, a change in dress. Now, I'm going to snap a snapshot of this, and now I'm going to drop it into the room. So y'all look in your room. I mean, y'all look in the family room and look at the picture. I'm about to put it in there right now. She instituted a change of dress. I put it in there now. And what do you see her with? So much so that she still has a skirt on or a dress on, and up under it, what does she have? It says, in her publication, Bloomer promoted a change in dress standards for women that would be less restrictive in regular activity. So that goes to say, well, I got to go to the gym. What am I supposed to put on while I'm working out? See, these are all mindsets that you ain't got no business having. I don't care if it makes sense to you. You're following a Jezebel spirit from a person that's not even of your nation. This is their mindset, because they didn't like the way that the order that they have been placed in, even amongst their own men. Then it says the costume of women should be suited to her wants and necessities. You see that spirit, the costume. She wanted to institute a new gospel. Forget what Paul had wrote. So this is what you're saying when you put on pants. You following after the Edomite woman, because prior to her, it wasn't no pants being worn. So she even went into the slave corridors to get black women, to get the so-called slaves to follow her. She went in there to get the so-called slaves to follow her. And what was it said, the costume of women should be suited to her wants and necessities. It should conduce at once to her health, her comfort, and her youthfulness. And while it should not fail also to conduce to her personal adornment, it should make that end of secondary importance. In 1851, New England temperance activist Elizabeth Smith Miller, a.k.a. Libby Miller, adopted what she considered a more rational costume: loose trousers gathered at the ankles, like women's trousers worn in Middle East and Central Asia, topped by a short dress or skirt and vest. So even they still tried to keep and this ain't even for them. Everybody that she just named, Middle East, Central Asia, this truth ain't for them. It ain't for them, but she still try to keep the skirt or the dress on, and put it on, and displayed her new clothing to Stan and her cousin, who found it sensible and becoming, and adopted it immediately. In this garb, Stan visited Bloomer, who began to wear the costume and promote it enthusiastically in her magazine. So there you go, media being put out there. So read Deuteronomy 22:5 again, somebody. Sisters, I got to get your name, Lashawan. I need you to read that again. Give me that Deuteronomy 22:5 again.
Okay, let me go back to it.
So what I'm doing right now, I'm going to just walk y'all into certain things before we even get to 1 Corinthians. I'm going to take y'all through Sirach. Proverbs, we're going to also read on Jezebel herself in the book of Kings. But I want y'all to see where this spirit is beginning, and the Most High is very displeased with it.
I'm sorry, brother.
Very displeased with it. Deuteronomy 22, right, and 5.
5.
Yes.
The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
It's abomination to the Lord thy God. You putting on breeches, which are pants, which is I just explained to you in Exodus 28 and 42. And then I'm showing you now where the whole institution came in with these two women, Amelia Bloomer and Susan B. Anthony, who were an abolitionist. So after Susan B. Anthony, well, actually, then she came into play. And it says after they moved to Rochester in 1845, members of Anthony's family were active in the anti-slavery movement. Anti-slavery Quakers met at their farm almost every Sunday, where they were sometimes joined by Frederick Douglass and William Lloyd Garrison. Okay, so this is how, and then it says 1863, Anthony and Stanton organized Women's National Loyal League, support and petition of the 13th Amendment outlawing slavery. So they sneaked down into slavery to try to get some of our women to follow them. And that's exactly what they did, and y'all following them still to this day. You follow them still to this day because there's no way around it. Just like for us men, we got to keep the law. Y'all women, you have to keep the law. So let's go into the book of Corinthians. I just wanted to bring that out, the first chapter and the 11th verse. We're going to go back through this whole thing of your head, who's your head and your covering. Because I'm going to tie it in with some different precepts. So 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, the first verse. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. This is Paul speaking. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinance as I delivered them to you. Third verse. But I would have you to know that the head of every man is Christ, Yahushua, and the head of the woman is the man. And the head of Yahushua is Yahweh. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. So anytime the scriptures are coming out, brothers, you cannot have your head covered. That's just the truth to the matter. You cannot cover your head. But every woman that prayeth or prophesied with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head. That is literally having your head covered. I'm going to bring that out with other scriptures, precepts. So as I've been going through this, it's literally having a head covering. Yes, it is also you need a head in your life with a husband, but this is speaking to you having your head covered. But every woman that prayeth or prophesied with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as if she were shaven, because it was a shameful for women to shave their head bald, like brush waves, like you see black women doing today. I got plenty of sisters I know that shave their head down, take their hair off, and shave their hair down to brush waves. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn, meaning shaved. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. So it's shameful for a woman to have shaven hair, just like it's shameful for a woman to not have a head covering on. For every man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of the Most High, but the woman is the glory of the man. You are the glory of men. You are made in the image of men. Why? What happened? Most High put Adam to sleep and brought you forth out of the man. You are from the seed of a man. Men did not come from women. We came through women, but we didn't come from you. Before you ever entered into that woman, you was in the scrotum sac, alive in the testicles of a man. Okay? For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Now you say, I might try to say, fit for marriage. Okay? From Jezebel to Proverbs. This is your transition from being a Christian, which is a Jezebel, because you're going against the laws of the Most High. You're going against the teachings of the Most High. Okay? You're going against the laws and the teachings of the Most High. Stop right there. Let me go Second John, 1st chapter and the 10th verse. If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him or her not into your house, neither bid him or her Godspeed. For he that biddeth him or her Godspeed is a partaker of his or her evil doings, evil deeds. So if you're not coming with this doctrine, with this truth, which is the Torah that Paul was speaking of, the Old Testament, and the truth therein, then you're not of the Most High, and you're not of Yahweh Shah. It don't matter because you think you tell people you in the truth. Actions is what shows love. When he asks if you love me, you keep my commandments. He that saith I know him, 1 John 2 and 4. What it say in 1 John 2 and 4? He or she that said I know him. Well, let's start with 1 John 2 and 3. And hereby we know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He that saith I know him and keepeth not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. So you change your name to Hebrew, but you still doing everything that you just still a Christian, or still whatever that's outside of the truth, but you just got a Hebrew name, and you know how to say shalom and shalom. You have to do more than that. You know, you can't be so caught up in your everyday. So going back to 1 Corinthians 11 and 1, which is where we was at, going down to the 8th verse, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angels. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman. You see how it didn't say, for as the woman is of the man, even so is the man of the woman. It said, even so the man also by the woman, but all things of the Most High. So I just wanted to start with that, to put that in your minds continually, because I still see y'all. You know what I'm saying? I still see y'all. And I'm saying this because I want all of y'all sisters on the phone to inherit what it is for you to inherit in this life. You know, I speak with some of y'all personally. I know you want a husband. I know you want certain things to change in your life. So when I'm saying this and me continuing, and I go back over this because the Spirit put this into me to tell y'all this again. You know, it ain't for me. I'm not trying to beat y'all up or nothing like that. I want to see y'all have what it is that y'all supposed to have. But you really do have to be that example. You have to be holy. You have to set yourself aside from everything and everybody else. Shalom, welcome to the conference call. Who's calling?
Samantha, and Samaria. Okay.
Samantha.
And
So,
Samaria.
and Samaria, Shalom, niece. So, where we at is 1 Corinthians 11:1. We was going back over the whole thing of the head and the order, and a woman covering her head. 1 Corinthians 11:1, and I'm addressing this back again in today's topic, fit for marriage, from Jezebel to Proverbs 31, because, like I said, I speak with you women personally, you know, and I know that some of you are, you're tired. You know, you want that righteous man. You're ready to have that relationship. But you have to present yourself fit for marriage, is what the Most High put in my spirit to let you all know. Because you should have a husband, and I want to see y'all with a husband. Those that may already have a husband, you have certain things that you have to change within yourself, in your household, to keep the level of respect there. As long as you're dealing with a husband that is dealing with you in the truth. You have a husband that you're dealing with that's dealing with you in the truth, then it should be balance and harmony based upon the Most High's order. Because he tells you to do everything in decency and in order. Everything. Nothing is exempt from that. Okay? In order. So let's go from let's to show y'all that head wrap is an actual head wrapping. Now let's go to Genesis, the 24th chapter, and the 64th verse and the 65th verse. Once again, that's Genesis 24, 64, and 65. And who is this? Rebecca? I believe this is Rebecca. Let me see. Genesis 64. And right, Rebecca. Well, let's start at 63. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. Okay? And Rebecca lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. She got off the camel, for she had said unto the servant, what man is this? Now, this is the respect that black women have for their man. Okay? Watch what Rebecca, your foremother, watch what she does. I'm going to read that over. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebecca lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. She got off the camel. For she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. Okay? Because that was an honorable thing to do in the sight of the Lord. And remember, the women called their husband Lord. You call your husband Lord. Okay? That's how she honored that black man. So-called black man. Let's go to Numbers, the 5th chapter, and the 18th verse.
When she got off the horse, she covered her head up to go address Joseph, who became her husband.
That's the respect that she showed, and also remembering what she's supposed to do. So you today, I'm showing you your foremother so you can understand the same kind of behavior is what's supposed to be shown today. And you're doing it for that man, but you're also doing it in respect and honor of the Most High. Okay? Numbers 5 and 18. It says, and the priest shall set the woman before the Lord, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of the memorial. Now, this is before she went before judgment. Memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering, and the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse. So always her head was covered. You see? Covering your head. Let's go to Judith. Let's go to the book of Sirach. And let's go to Judith, the 10th chapter. Let's go to Judith, the 10th chapter, and the 3rd verse. Whoever got background noise, you got to put your phone on mute. Judith, the 10th chapter, and the 3rd verse. It's still there. Somebody still, I hear like riding or something like that. You got to put your phone on mute. It says in Judith, the 10th chapter, the 3rd verse, and pulled off the sackcloth. Well, actually, we're going to start at 10:1 and go to the 3rd. Now, after that, she had ceased to cry unto the Most High God of Israel, power of Israel, and bad made an end of all these words. She rose where she had fallen down and called her maid and went down into the house into which she abode in the Sabbath days and in her feast days, and pulled off the sackcloth which she had on and put off the garments of her widowhood. Okay? Because remember what had happened to her husband. She put off the garments of her widowhood and washed her body all over with water and anointed herself with precious ointment. This is another way to show you that Judith was a black woman, because what it said after that, and braided the hair of her head. She braided her hair. This is a custom. This is not a European custom. This ain't a Chinese, Japanese. That you got to have woolly hair. You know, this is Latino, so-called black, Native American. Okay. The indigenous Native Americans from Taino, India. He said she braided her hair and put on a tire upon it, a tire. So she braided her hair and then put on a veil, put on a scarf. Okay? So I just wanted to show y'all that is what it is. It's you have to keep your head covered. She braided her hair and then she covered her hair. She went and washed herself, made herself clean. She anointed herself with oil. Okay. Then she went, braided her hair, and put a garment and put a head wrap over it. So, ladies, keep the pants off. This is how you want to make yourself fit for marriage. Even on the outside, because remember, when in the scripture, I think it's what scripture is that, Brother Yabadazar, is either Zechariah or it's either Zechariah, it might be Zechariah, when it says Yahweh said when he returned, he's going to punish the daughters, or punish the children found in strange apparel. Okay? That's clothing. So he come through this sky right now, and you ain't got on our fringes and ribbon of blue, and sisters y'all still in pants. You cannot do that. Let's go to 1 Timothy 3:11. And each time we have these classes, make sure y'all write these scriptures down. 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, and then we're going to go to the 11th verse. Once again, that's 1 Timothy 3:11. Now, we're going to give you some of the characteristics, okay, because we already know, well, in Titus 2:3-5, I'm going to go again first before I go to that, because I still get some sisters. I just was in a conversation this week where a sister asked me what was her role. And that's a good question to ask, because a lot of times, even though we go over these scriptures, I still need to go back over them because I need it to sink in. Repetition and practice make perfect. You know, LeBron James ain't went out there and won that championship game without practicing hard work. And what did he practice? He practiced the same plays when he went in the gym. He practiced the same plays over and over again. That's the same way as y'all need to hear these scriptures over and over. because this is your job. And with it being the majority of women that I'm speaking to, I have to continue. No more different when I speak to brothers. I speak about what it is that we have to do. The sisters, I have to speak to y'all of y'all role. So every day it's in you because it's hard. You know what I mean? You get, every day life will suck you in. So the role of a woman, Titus, 2nd chapter, 3rd verse. The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness. Holiness means separate. You cannot be doing the exact same things that other sisters do and what you were doing. Not false accusers. Not giving too much wine. Teachers of good things. Now this is what you're doing to prepare yourself to be fit for that husband that you are longing for, that you rightfully deserve. But there are things that you have to get yourself in order with coming out of the world and into the truth. Because you can't turn back now. You can't turn back. I mean, you can if you want to, but I'm going to tell you, you can't. Because I don't want to see what would happen to you or anybody, any of us, for turning back. Remember what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah for turning back. Okay? And she naturally get turned into no pillar of salt like Puff the Magic Dragon. She got hit up with one of them bombs. Okay? The aged woman likewise, that be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things. The good things are the law, statutes, and commandments. So you have work to do. Sister asked me earlier this week, okay, well, I want to, what should I do? Okay, well, y'all need to get these flyers made up. I got to send you the JPEG to where as though you can get the flyers made up where, have the curses of Deuteronomy on it, and that will be the beginning conversation. You see these Jehovah's Witnesses doing it. They ain't in the truth. You can't be in the truth and not doing nothing. When you go out, have these flyers on you. Walk up on some of these young sisters. Excuse me, sister. Just ask them a question. Are you into the church? How do you feel? Just ask them. Don't even ask them. How do you feel about church today? Okay, how do you feel about church today? How do you feel about going to church and what you hear and what's going on within the church? How do you feel about that? She's going to talk to you because they got a lot to say. They got a lot to say. So and then once she opened that up to you, once you ask her that, and she opens that up and say, well, however it is that she feels, then you let her know, well, I want to give you something, and I want you to stay with me. You know what I mean? I want you to follow me on Facebook or follow me on it because we all got social media. And I want you to take this right here, and I want you to read it when you get home. You got to do it right now. Take it when you read it at home, and this is my Facebook name. I want you to add me, or what is it right now? Let me add you. Be bold. Don't be afraid to step out there. They are waiting for somebody. Just like men, young brothers got OGs. What do the young sisters got? Do they got some OG sisters? Why is that just a thing that young men say? Oh, I was just talking to my old head or my OG. What the young sisters, they left out. They ain't got no older women to talk to. And y'all should know better than that. And if you're going to be a follower of Mashiach Hawashai, that's what he did. And if you're going to have a husband, that's what your husband should be doing. Okay? Teachers of good things, that means the law, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husband, to love their children. This is what you need to be planning them to become, helping them plan to become, helping them see this. Let them know. Well, I know you heard of slavery. Did you not know that slavery is in the Bible? Can I show you that? Can I show you who you are in the Bible? Who are you? Who are you? You think you're black? You African American? Let me show you who you are within this Bible. The same Bible that your mother take you to church to, or you go to church to on Sunday, but it's confusing to you or it's boring to you. Let me show you. and take them under your wing. And then when we having these classes and we having these family rooms, I can then help supply y'all. I've had a sister yet call me and say, I want to do a class to the other sisters. Now, I'm going to monitor it to make sure that you're teaching it right, because I can't afford you teaching it any other way but right. But it's time for y'all to step up. Y'all go on YouTube and y'all watch all the camps and all the brothers, but it's always brothers. You ain't going to go on YouTube pretty much and find nothing that I ain't seen. I've been doing this, especially when it came down to that. But I don't see no women on there sitting, I'm talking about elder age sisters, sitting in their beautiful garments with a bunch of young sisters sitting in the classroom with them, and they teaching them. I don't want nothing but sisters around me that's ready to step into that role, and I'm going to make sure that y'all are. Y'all some intelligent, bright, smart women. So now it's time to put on the spirit of the Most High. And I want to see y'all sisters be those sisters before anybody else. Let's be the first. Have any of y'all seen it? I ain't seen it on YouTube nowhere no women sitting there doing what Titus 2:3-5 say. I ain't seen it yet. I could be overlooking it, but I ain't seen it.
Brother Ash, this is Sister
Yeah.
LaShawn. So we talk about 1 Timothy 2:11 in relation to this.
1 Timothy 2:11. Yeah, I actually got that written down. We're going to definitely go into that. 1 Timothy 2:11. We can speak. Let me finish this off, then we'll go there. Okay? And then it says, let me go back forward again, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed. Because if you're not doing this, you in the midst of blasphemy. This is a serious offense. And it's my job to warn you. Which is what I'm doing. You know, it's more than just you getting this for yourself. And you can't keep resting in the thought of, well, I'm new. This is new for me. No, you can't keep holding on to that crutch, because it was new for you to do whatever it is you're doing in your life, in your own business. But you made haste. You scurried to learn that. Why? So you can get the benefits from it. And like I said, I know what all y'all sisters on here on the phone is doing. Shalom, welcome to the conference call. Who's calling?
Kataria.
Who is it?
Kataria.
Oh, Kataria. Sister Kataria, how you doing? So that's what I'm saying. All of y'all that's on the line, y'all all have a mission. And based off of this Titus 2:3-5, this is your job. And it's my job to see you to that job. Because like I said, you cannot rest and continue to rest in your own, on that fact of, well, I'm new in the truth. So that you think that gives you time when the scripture says make haste. It doesn't give you time. It doesn't afford you time to just sit and rest on that thought or that fact that you knew into the truth. Because once the scripture enters you, you need to be making haste. You need to be scurry to that position. Like I said, just like many of you I speak with, I know what y'all doing in y'all personal lives. I know y'all have your own personal businesses. Some of y'all got your own personal business. Some of y'all working, and you take pride in your work, and you do what you do. But before you understood that, you learned it, and then you jumped to it. And that's what you need to do this. In other words, you can't continue to have the Most High at the putting them on the back burner in your life. You cannot do that. So let's go to 1 Timothy 2, and you said 2:11, Sister LaShawn?
2:11 and 12.
Right. It's the 2 Timothy 2:11 and 12. 1 Timothy 2:11 and 12.
chapter.
Let's deal with
chapter
that. 1 Timothy chapter 2 and the 11th verse and the 12th verse. But matter of fact, I want to bring it. I want to take it to the 9th verse. Let's start at the 9th. 1 Timothy 2 and 9. It says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. Now remember, the topic of this message is fit for marriage. Fit for marriage. From Jezebel, that spirit of I just showed y'all and brought out with Amelia Bloomer and Susan B. Anthony. Okay, and then taking y'all back to Deuteronomy 22 and 5, the whole institution of, and then showing you in Ezekiel 28 and 42 with the breaches. Okay, and then bringing you up to speed because that spirit of Jezebel was instituted by someone other than your nation when we speaking of in today's modern time and addressing the pan. Then we're going to go into Jezebel herself in the book of Kings, but that's down the line. So it says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. So every new generation that come in, you have an opportunity to be saved. Okay, you have an opportunity to be saved, but what do you have to do? You have to continue in faith, charity, holiness, and sobriety. So let's deal with that. Like manner also, the woman adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety. A woman is supposed to be meek, humble, gentle, okay? Not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. It doesn't mean that you can't never wear jewels, but you have to take this in the context of what it's speaking. You can't be like Atlanta housewives, okay? Married to medicine. You know, all these women that you see, you can't be like that and then talk about you still in the truth. You can't walk into a spot and you look just like them. How are you in becoming holiness? Holiness is separate. How am I going to be able to look at you and still look at them and I see the same thing? And y'all spend money. That's why I connected you to Kataria. She makes her own garments. She makes clothing for women. You ain't gonna go find none that look as closely to nothing fly. We all want to look fly. That's just who we are as a people. So affordable, and spend your money. You're not going to be able to come before the Most High and say that it wasn't provided for you. And that comes down to everything. You cannot say that, oh, well, I don't have this. No, I understand that we all don't have, abundance. I understand that. But don't you think that the Most High will make way for you to be able to get in the right apparel, to get in this modest apparel? She make clothing, and I'm sure if you speak with her, you want to got some clothing and y'all want to just go on to paying no cleaners $40-something to put no fringes on, when you can get it from her. I've led a lot of y'all to her Facebook page. You should be slowly but surely buying your garments. And the Most High ain't caring. That go for me too as well. He ain't caring about if you ain't got a array of outfits to put on every day. If you got to put that same dress on. You know why? You know why we some prideful, messed up in the head people, man. We straight up, man. We some prideful, messed up. I ain't wearing that twice. Like, nigga, who you think you is? You see these so-called fake women. They you don't know if they ain't got on the same. It's black all the time. It's the same dress. but they so serious about what they believe to be what's righteous. Mm-hmm. Us on the meantime, in between time, we not. And that's why we in this condition that we in. That's exactly why we facing the things, and that's exactly why you facing and maybe still facing the same things that you run into. You was going through last year. You was going through the year before. Here it is, 2016. You still going through it because you don't want to change. You don't want to change how your view of things. You don't want to change it. So when it says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array, but which becometh women, professing godliness with good works. And I went through that. So y'all women have to learn to become holy, and also you got to take off all that worldly attitude and mind frame that you had before you came into the truth, because you cannot still be in the truth and walking if you are newly in it. When you hear these scriptures, you got to jump to it.
Thank you.
You can't continue to rest in the fact that you knew, because that it's not going to coincide, and the Most High is not going to have any you don't have any respect to person. You don't have no respect to person, so it's not going to run. It's not going to fit with you having that type of a mindset. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Okay, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man. Is that what you wanted to speak on, Sister Lashawan?
Yes, brother. I just wanted to get understanding in regards to that, just prior to the conversation in regards to women who are moving forward to teach.
Okay, right. But it said, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man. Meaning you can't come up in the congregation, in the churches, and be teaching over the man. Mm-hmm. The scripture don't contradict. So when he tell you in Titus 2:3-5, age woman likewise, that you know what I'm saying, you be teachers of the young sisters. That's who you teach. This is Paul writing a letter speaking to the congregation in Corinth. And why was he saying this? Because it was women during that time that had that feminine spirit. The same black women as we got today, they was back then. Still feeling like, y'all gonna tell the man what to do. Paul had to address that in Corinth. Man, they was wilding. It was all out of order. Okay, so y'all need to understand that. And then be that example. We sit up and look at them East Indian women doing it. Them Arab women doing it. What you think they weak? Y'all think they weak? Y'all sit up back and live and look at them, and y'all think they weak because they like that. No, they ain't weak. They way stronger than you when it come down to discipline. Niggas ain't got no discipline. They way stronger than you. Because it take a lot to keep your mouth closed. It takes a lot to keep your mouth shut. But you're going to have to do it whether you like it or not. And that separates you from that Jezebel's spirit. That separates you from that. Let's go to 1 Timothy 3 and 5 and 6. 1 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. Y'all write these scriptures down. Now, this is to the sisters that may have a husband. Okay? Let's start at 5. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of the Most High? You can't have no weak men out here heading the churches, heading the people. You can't even rule your own house. How you gonna come out here and show men how to live? And you can't even rule your own house. Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. Moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil. Which is why you want to have a good report. You got to, in this seat, you know what I'm saying, of coming out here, especially in Israel, you want to make sure you have a good report amongst the churches, amongst the brothers and sisters. You want to make sure you have a good report, but you also want to be a man that know how to rule his household. And how do you rule your household? You rule your household under the law, statutes, and commandments. You still have to love your wife and respect your wife and love her as you love yourself. And understand that she's there to be your help. She's not there to be your enemy. It's not to say that you, as an intelligent woman and a woman of the Most High, a daughter of Zion, that you don't have a lot to offer and bring to the table. Of course you do. Most women, even when you ain't in the truth, if you a good woman, you got a good spirit, you are an excellent provider and helpmeet for your husband. You know what I'm saying? It just comes naturally. And even more when you come into this truth. That's how you should be. Genesis 3 and 16, it said that your desire shall be unto your husband and that he shall rule over you. Well, it starts from your father. A lot of women didn't grow up with their father in the house, but for those that did have their father, you know how in love you are with your father. And you loved his leadership. And you loved his power and his strength. That should carry over to your husband. And don't rush to go marry a husband that don't exude those strengths. At this moment, if you don't have one, you need to be preparing yourself fit for marriage. That's what you should be doing. Making yourself fit. And the right kind of a man to look out for. Okay? That's what you need to be doing. And let's go to, and you need a man that's going to stand up and be strong. That's what it's saying right here. If a man don't know how to run his own household, how he going to be fit for, to go out here and teach the churches? It just don't go together. Let's go to the book of Sirach, the 25th chapter. And the 22nd verse. The book of Sirach, the 25th chapter and the 22nd verse. And it reads, a woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. A wicked woman abated the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Okay? 24, of the woman came beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Okay, this is not the type of woman that y'all want to be. This type of woman that we see in the world. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. I'm saying that, and that also go to. Now it's two kind of like that goes also go to a man that's out here and he ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? If you got a man that's out here and he ain't doing nothing for the Most High, he ain't doing nothing for the household. This is the type of woman that he gonna end up with. But I will say this: even y'all sisters that's in the truth, and you gotta and you. Well, first and foremost, like I said, being fit for marriage, my job is to make sure that you don't even end up with no man like that. Okay, so if you meet this man and he ain't in the truth, he ain't keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? He's a non-believer, and you get with him and you dealing with him now. You already know that you are unequally yoked with this man, and you need to leave this man alone. I know some of y'all still dealing with certain men like that.
Brother,
talking to.
What book was that you just read from?
The book of Sirach, the 25th chapter and the 22nd verse through the. You can read it all the way through the 26th verse.
Because I can't find it.
That's for the
Ecclesiasticus.
It's Ecclesiasticus. It's another name for it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It said, a wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. Of the woman came beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. If she go not as thou wouldst have would have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. That's for the brothers that's dealing with a woman like that. So it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? There are outs. You don't put away your wife, but if you dealing with somebody that's wicked and they ain't pleased to dwell with you, and look, and being pleased to dwell with you don't mean you over here keeping the Feast of Tabernacles, he over there keeping Christmas, or she over there keeping the 4th of July, and you over here keeping Passover. It don't work like that. That please to dwell means you a believer, he non-believer, he don't believe in the Bible, but to keep his marriage together, he gonna follow them commandments. He gonna go to the Feast of Tabernacles. He gonna go to the Passover. He gonna follow this truth. She gonna follow this truth. It don't mean, oh, I'm over here in the house keeping the law, and you over here doing what you was doing. No. That is not what that scripture is saying. You have to, that non-believer, whoever the believer is, husband or wife, they better be following them laws, statutes, commandments. They better be willing to keep their marriage together by following what thus said the Most High. Whoever's doing all that moving, y'all have to cut that out. Whoever, put your phone on mute. Whoever is moving around right now, put your phone on mute. So that y'all make sure y'all know that and put that in there. That's what that means. Okay? You can't just be doing, two people in the household and one doing this and the other one is keeping the law, statutes, commandments and keeping the holy days and trying to live the righteous life and your partner is over here doing whatever they do. But they ain't got no problem with you keeping the commandments, but don't you have no problem with them going over their mama's house, over their brother's house, sister's house during the holidays, the holidays. No. That's distraction. That's confusion in the house. And that's not what thus said the Most High, period. And don't let nobody trick you into thinking that otherwise.
What was that verse? Ecclesiastes what?
Ecclesiasticus, the 25th chapter, starting at the let's say the 22nd verse through the 26th verse. Ecclesiasticus, or also known as the Book of Sirach, the 25th chapter, the 22nd through the 26th verse. Y'all make sure that y'all put these scriptures down and to the side and keep them there. Let's go to Sirach 26 and the 26th verse. The book of Ecclesiasticus, the 26th chapter, the 26th verse. It says, a woman that honoreth her husband, shall be judged wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. Okay? A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. So you on this phone, sisters, in this truth, as you learning what you don't know, you need to be coming to try to find out, because you at this point and state in this country and up under this society, you know what I mean, it is a prideful thing we all deal with to a degree. But it has systematically been done to our sisters. And you leading and heading the household money-wise and things of that nature, that's why I brought up Amelia Bloomer and Susan B. Anthony, because I want you to understand where that started. Of course, it started in the scripture. The Most High said that it would be a new thing on earth, that the woman shall compass the man. But let's understand how and what components was used to make that happen. So when you look at somebody like Amelia Bloomer, Susan B. Anthony, they systematically going into the slave corridors, abstracting the women out of there, having y'all join on to their feminist movement. Because it said that it didn't matter the race. They went to all nationalities. But they specifically targeted slavery. They know what they were doing. The devil is wicked. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? You already feeling worthless. Having to deal with slavery. You watching your man get ostracized. You watching your son get killed, murdered, raped. Along with your daughters. But we speaking of the man. So then they bring you out of that, make you throw on pants, having you feeling as though you equal to the man when that's just not the case. You equal to the man in the sense of order, which will put us all equal, meaning balanced. When you in order, Yahweh, head of Yahweh Shai, head of man, man, head of woman. You balance. Okay? When you balance the scale, it's equal. But you're not equal in the sense of the laws of the Most High. You have your role. You have your road. It's your road. It's your lane over here. This is the man's road. This is his lane over here. Okay? And that goes, now we go to 1 Peter's. I'm going to toss it back and forth. We'll go to 1 Peter's, the 3rd chapter, and the 6th verse. Okay? What did it say? 1 Peter's 3 and 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are. You sisters on this phone, you're the daughters of Sarah. Okay? What does she call her husband? Lord. Okay? This is your great foremother, great foremother, all the way down. Okay? In her understanding, showing honor to her head. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham. It ain't like these men is some, we going to put these men up on a pedestal to where as though we ain't the same men today. If you've been reading the Bible, you see a lot of mistakes that the brothers made. From Abraham on down to David. So don't look at them like and then look at us like, oh, we ain't them. It said, greater are those to come. But they ought to believe in faith and not sight. So 1 Peter 3:6 says, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, you are, as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous. So, men, if you get with a man, that man is supposed to have compassion for you. You know, you're supposed to be vessels together, heirs together, that your prayers be not hindered. So when you meet a man, and when you're going through this process right now, transitioning and making yourself fit for marriage, fit to be with that man, fit to have your king, these are the things that you want to look for in that man. Don't just run out here and grab a nigga that you once was dealing with, or you've been knowing for all these years, or you was dealing with him when you came in the truth, and you still struggling with this nigga. It is what it is. And that's my job to tell you that. Same as for a man. If you with a wife and she not adhering to these laws, statutes, commandments, and she pulling away from you and this, that, and the third, then you got to do something about that. You have to leave her alone. Straight like that. Because when you're standing before the Most High, ain't going to be no excuses, man. And I have to keep saying all the time, we getting cut down every day, and ain't nobody on this phone exempt. Ain't nobody on this phone, you think that can't happen to you. Don't think that. Please don't think that. Let's go to Ephesians, the 5th verse, and the 22nd. I'm in the 5th chapter and the 22nd verse. Ephesians, the 5th chapter and the 22nd verse. It says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. I just want to show you the power of the order. You need to submit to that man as you would submit to the Lord, because he is your Lord. That's how you need to be submitting to him. And this is for you to become the woman of the Lord, a daughter of Zion, a true daughter of Zion in spirit. And if you're with the right man, you ain't gonna have a problem doing that. But until that man come and find you, don't sit back and just continue living your everyday life. I don't want to keep hearing y'all say that. I know, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I just got to, you know what I'm saying? The Most High will kill you. He'll kill you for that. Or even worse, take one of your children away from you. So it's not a game. So you want that man, you want that mate in your life, you have to present yourself fit for marriage. Take off the Jezebel, put on the Proverbs 31. And we are going to go back through her again. We're going to go back through her again. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 14. I just want to nail in these scriptures. 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter, 34th and the 35th verse. And it's going to go back to what we were just watching and what we just read with you, Sister Lashawan, when we were speaking about 1 Timothy. Let your woman keep silent in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under the obedience, as also saith the law. That is a law. So that's why when you see some of the brothers out at camp, and then you may see some sisters there, you know what I mean, sitting there with them, and they in modest apparel, and they sitting being quiet, they following this scripture right here. They following this scripture right here. You done seen some of them if you watch some of the films. I know if you watch Priest of Box sometimes out in Town Square or whatever, sometimes there was some sisters sitting around. They was in modest apparel. They sat there and they was quiet. Then you got some scoffers that have come up and, hey, you know what I'm saying, y'all, where y'all women at? You know, they just sit there, you know, make you think like, oh, them women are like they weak. You'll be some of the most intelligent sisters and run you all straight, run you in knowledge. But why? Because they being obedient, and you so used to seeing black women all out of order. But if that was some Arabs women sitting right there, or some East Indian women sitting right there, you would expect that from them. They coming out, wrapped all the way up, head to toe. I got some of them living in the building with me now. You see them and you kind of like look at them like, you know, you expect that from them. You come out of the house and see a woman, black woman dressed like that in 90-degree weather, she crazy, or her man done messed her head up. No, nigga, you messed up. And any of y'all women that look at another sister, Israelite sister that's dressed like that, you the one who crazy. You the one crazy, not her. She trying to get in order. You still in the world. You got a foot in the world and a foot in the truth. Let your women keep silent in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. That is a law. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. Okay? Now, if you ain't got a husband at home, that's what your head of your congregation is for. Be it me, be it whoever you up under. Like, if you know, whatever camp leader you under or whatever family that you in, and it's a head there, then he will act as your head, your leader. Just as Paul was writing to all of the churches. You think every woman was married? No. But the word still goes out. The word still goes out. So now I'm going to take you from the mindset of a Jezebel, and then we're going to close out. We're going to go into Proverbs. So let's go to 1 Kings, the 21st chapter. And some of our women may do this, and it may come out like it may be harmless, but it's really not when you look at the spirit of what this woman was doing. 1 Kings, the 21st chapter. It says, and then you can read this in detail, and we may go into detail. It says, and it came to pass after these things that Naboth and the Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, the king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, give me thy vineyard. Now remember, Ahab was a king. He said, now he goes to this man Naboth and says, give me your vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house. This is 1 Kings, the 21st chapter. Y'all need to make sure you put this down or get this. And I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. So he coming to this brother, want to take his vineyard, want to buy his vineyard off of him. And he's a king. And it says, and Naboth said to Ahab, the Lord forbid me that I should give thee an inheritance of my fathers unto thee. Because it was inheritance given him. So I'm not, Lord forbid, I can't do that. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee inheritance of my father. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread. So this man then came home. You know what I mean? He upset that this brother didn't sell him his vineyard or give it to him. So he got an attitude like a little baby. You know what I mean? Like, he a king, but he a sucker. You know what I'm saying? He got an attitude now. He don't come home, fall all across the bed. You know? He displeased. He's sucking his thumb, basically. And now he don't even want to eat. Then it says 5, but Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? You don't even want to eat. She come to him like, what's wrong with you? You don't want to eat dinner? I cooked dinner. And he said unto her, because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite and said unto him, give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Like I said, don't you know? You don't know that you the kingdom. You the king. Arise and go and eat this food. Eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she done told this that this is the spirit of a woman that want to take charge. Even though he acting like a sucker. Now she gonna tell him, give it. What? He don't know. He don't know what it is. Okay, I got him. Don't you worry about it. Go on over there in the kitchen and eat you something. I'm gonna handle it. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name. So now she gonna forge this man's name, her husband's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letter saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. So now you got to remember, Ahab was a king. So now they're going to listen to what they're thinking that this him. This is the wicked mindset of this woman, this Jezebel, this independent spirit. I'm the head of the house. You want to get into the affairs of the man. Even if you feel like your husband ain't doing something right, it ain't your job to go jumping in and trying to run nothing. That's not your job. Okay? Then it said, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme the Most High and the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die. So she done lied on this man. Okay? Wanting to be in charge. I'm just giving you an example of the Jezebel and show you the difference between her and then when we go into Proverbs. Because the message was fit for marriage from Jezebel to Proverbs 31. Okay? So he done came home. He done went to this man, tried to get this man to trade vineyards for him. And if not trade, let me buy yours. The man told him, no, I'm not going to give up my father's inheritance. He get mad, sucking his little thumb, come home, pout, lay all across the bed, crying. Okay. She come in the room, he don't want to eat. Hey, nigga, what's wrong with you? Man, I went over there, he didn't want to let me have his vineyard. I told him I was going to buy it from him. He ain't want. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got it. Let me get it. I got it. You go on in there in the kitchen and eat. And this wicked nigga knew what she was going to do. He knew. She started writing letters in his name, whoop, whoop, whoop. Then it said he wrote the letters, proclaim a fast. Now she want to proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. Bring him out. And set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme the Most High and the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die. And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles who were the inhabitants in this city, did as Jezebel had said unto them, thinking that it was the king, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast and set Naboth on high, just like they was instructed to do by who they thinking is the king doing this, but really is this wicked woman among the people. 13, and there came into 2 men, children of Belial, and sat before him, and the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme the Most High, the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died. Then they said to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, arise and take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money. But for Naboth is not alive, but he dead now. Now this is what this woman done went and did. This is the spirit that a lot of sisters have today. She didn't really do that for her husband. She did that to try and make a point. She wanted to exude her power. She didn't do that. She tried to make a point. I do it. I do it. Don't you know? So I got it. And it came to pass, 16, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth to the Jezreelite to take possession of it. Now he gonna go do it. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah Tishbite, saying, arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. Okay, then when you skip down to 25, what it say? But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness. See, this was wicked. This was wicked what he did, but there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel, his wife, stirred up. A shit starter. Now, how many of y'all black women like that today? She done stirred up all this to have this man put to death. Just to prove a point of her own satisfaction. Okay, now let's go to Proverbs 31. This is the type of woman that you don't want to aspire to be. That Jezebel spirit. Okay, coming into this truth, y'all got to live. You either with the Most High or you not. You can't have one foot in and one foot out. It just don't work that way. You have to take off that old and constantly check yourself before the Most High check you. So these are the steps that you do to make yourself fit for marriage. Because it's a lot of Jezebel in our women today. And understandably so. You know what I mean? With the way we were brought up. No father in the house. Your mother, you always watched your mother and, you know what I'm saying, aunties or whatever, they was always sojourning. You know what I'm saying? They had to do it by themselves. But you being in the truth, learning these scriptures, you know you have to learn the history of why that is the case. And you definitely have to be sympathetic and watch out for the snares and traps. Because you know what happened to us while we in this condition. You can't allow the wicked, the devil himself, so-called white man, Edomites, trick you into another way of life with his luring treasures of putting you up high above your man. Okay, you just can't do that because at the end of the day, you're going to face the music. And I constantly say that all the time. You're going to die. And then we're going to see what the real is. And if you that bold and you that prideful that you willing to accept that challenge, that you think that you can say, okay, well, whatever, I'll see when I die. And you a wicked ass woman and you deserve to be put to death. And I want to be standing right there when you standing there in front of your house shop. I want to be right there. You talking about nigga gonna have a smile, I'll be showing all teeth. Looking right at you, shaking my head. Because don't think we ain't gonna know each other. Please don't think that. I'll be sitting right there looking at you like, see? Hopefully I ain't standing over there with your butt. He got me right there on the righteous side. But if I am, I'll be looking at it like this, because I done already took y'all through scripture, showed you. Ain't no intercession. You ain't gonna be able to intercede for your daughter. You ain't gonna be able to intercede. All of the interceding is done on this side. On that side, when that time comes, it's judgment time. So think that you have enough time to continue on saying, I'm going to get around to it. Go ahead and keep thinking that you got that time. Keep on thinking you got that time. And lay your butt down tonight. And you won't get up in the morning. And then holler at it. And as I said to y'all, it's reflected right to myself. It's a scary thing to me. I don't know how it make y'all feel, but it's scary to me. It's scary, and at the same time, it make me check myself. Because I ain't no saying we getting older. I know I'm getting older. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that you have to take into consideration when wanting your mate. The Most High don't send you no. Why would the Most High send me and I'm getting myself as a righteous man? I'm keeping going. Why are you gonna send me to you for? What are you gonna send me to you for? I don't want to. I do not want you. You know what I'm saying? Some men come into the truth and you already with your. Where you already got somebody at home, you already dealing with that to a degree. You're looking for rest. You know what I'm saying? You're looking for rest. You ain't looking for that. You're not looking for heartache and constant strife and despair and all that type of stuff. You don't want to go through that. That's not something any man should endure, or woman. Okay, that's just not something that you want to, you want to take into yourself. You don't want that. You know what I mean? I think I put in there where it tells you in the book of Sirach. Let me get that scripture. Let me get that scripture too. It says in Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 36:24. He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession. You are a man's possession. Now y'all can't take that? You can't eat that? That's thus said the Lord. You gonna have a problem with me saying it? What does possession mean? The state of having, owning, or controlling something. Ownership, controls, custody, care. Don't that line up with everything we just read in 1 Corinthians? Genesis 3:16? And property, something belonging to one. Now, you could get some niggas that, you know, and I'm speaking like that, dog. We all, you know what I'm saying, I don't know what I'm saying when I'm on this phone, that take that scripture and look at you like you ain't nothing, then you know that he wicked. When I understand that very clear when it says in that scripture that you are a man's possession. That a man, well, let me read that again. 36:24, Ecclesiastes, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. So you are a man's possession. Okay? Yet you are the possession of a righteous man. And if you're with, and if he's a righteous man, then he's going to understand the Most High giving you over to him as a possession. He's going to still love you like he loves himself. He's going to still treat you like he would treat himself. If he out of line, if he take this scripture and look at it and view it any other kind of way but righteously. If he take this, oh snap, you my possession, you ain't nothing. You do what I tell you to do. You supposed to sit your ass over there in the corner. You say nothing. First and foremost, he shouldn't even have to be talking to you like that. Because if you present yourself fit, you shouldn't be doing or saying anything that should make him say that to you. And if you ain't, and if you're not doing anything that make him say that to you, and he's saying those type of things to you based off of these types of scriptures, that nigga is not in the truth. There's a lot of people in the truth, but the truth ain't in them. I'm gonna say that again. There's a lot of people that's in the truth, but the truth ain't in them. So you get with a man that take these type of scriptures and he try and use them to try and make it seem like you ain't nothing, then you know you cut that, leave that nigga alone. Period. I don't care who he is. I don't care what title he got on himself. Okay. So let's go to Proverbs 31. So we've seen the type of a Jezebel spirit, and I could have went in more scriptures with that, but I don't want to ponder on that too long because y'all should understand that we done went through this enough. So going into Proverbs, the 31st chapter, and this type of a woman is who we all, you know, every man should want a woman to be, and every woman should be, you know, drawing near to become. And start at the 10th verse. Again, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. She's more than any money. A good woman is far above rubies, the prices of rubies. This is a good woman. Okay, let me show you. This scripture right here. This is a good woman. Ecclesiastes 26:4. Whether a man be rich or poor, okay, if he have a good heart towards the Lord, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance. Now, you a woman and you run into a man that's poor. Okay, but he in the Most High word and he doing what he's supposed to be doing. You rather have that man than a nigga out here who got money. Okay, he got money. He be bringing that bread home, but he ain't in the Most High. Now what you gonna do? You got a brother over here that don't have the bread, don't got the bread like that, but he in the truth of the Most High. And he's striving, and you see him striving. I ain't talking about no slothful nigga that ain't working, don't want to work, they ain't doing nothing. He at home playing PlayStation all day and smoking trees. Or running around. He ain't doing no work for the Most High, no nothing. No. We talking about the brother that you see doing the work for the Most High. You know what I mean? He working. He may not have as much as the next man. But the next man that got it, he ain't in the truth. He ain't doing nothing for the Most High, but he got some paper. Now you go run to this man, you gonna fall with that man. And don't think that you're gonna be able to bring him into the truth. Because once again, The Most High, Christ said, I choose you, you don't choose me. Okay? For it says, so who will find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her. Okay, so you need a husband. And to the men on the phone, man, you got to have a woman that you trust. You got to trust that woman, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Okay, she seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hand. So this is a woman that's working. She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. So she getting up before the sunrise. She considereth the field and buyeth with the fruit of her hands, and she planteth the vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength and strengthened her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good, and her candle goeth not out by night, meaning her light, her spirit. She's forever shining. She's in her truth, and she's showing she's out. She's an example. She's exemplifying what it is to be a virtuous woman. She layeth her hands to the spittle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretched out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reaches forth her hands to the needy. So she's constantly working out, giving charity, being an example for her husband. You know what I mean? She's just an all-around righteous woman. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. So she's making her own clothes. A lot of y'all women going out there and take up that sewing, man. Take them classes up. You can go online and learn how to sew. Start sewing your own ribbons and fringes into your garment. But until you do that, if other sisters that in the truth is doing it, break bread and spend money with them. Okay? Spend your money within your own community. Stop running out to all these other stores. You're spending money at these other stores. I done took y'all on to the sister site, Catharia. How many of y'all bought a garment from her? I ain't tagging y'all into her page just for y'all to be tagged into her page. You see her putting the work in, support her. And her garments is fire. I don't care if you don't get the two, so you can have on your garments and your modest apparel and your ribbon of blue with your fringes. She maketh herself covering of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gate. So this ain't no dude that ain't putting in no work for the Most High. He's known in the gate when he sitteth amongst the elders of the land. So he putting in that work out there. She maketh fine linen and selleth, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. She not no wilding out at the mouth trying to tell no man what to do. Just always got something nasty and negative to say. That's a Jezebel woman. And I don't want none of y'all on this phone to be that way. I don't want y'all to be that way. And you need to change that if that's in you. You need to stop that. You ain't fooling nobody. You ain't fooling the Most High. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. It's not sitting around just being idle. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, he praiseth her. Okay? You want a man like that, then you make yourself fit for marriage. From Jezebel to this virtuous woman. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellence them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise in the gates. And on that right there, I say all praise to Abba Yahweh, Mashiach Yahweh.